Every time you open your refrigerator, you're using one of the most important inventions in human history. For thousands of years, humanity fought a silent enemy.
Not war, not famine, but heat.
Food spoiled quickly. Milk soured within hours.
Every meal had to be eaten fast or lost.
So civilizations turned to nature.
In winter, they harvested ice from frozen lakes.
Blocks weighing hundreds of kilograms were dragged to storage houses. Packed in sawdust, the frozen treasure waited for summer.
Ice traveled across oceans, even to tropical cities.
But much of it melted before arrival. And in hospitals, cooling patients was a desperate challenge. One doctor refused to accept nature's limits.
He discovered that compressing air makes it hot.
And letting it expand makes it cold.
In 1851, artificial ice was born.
Many doubted the invention.
But the science was undeniable.
The secret was simple: move heat away.
Compress the gas, release the heat.
Let it expand and absorb warmth.
The inside cools, the outside warms.
And the cycle repeats endlessly. A quiet revolution had begun.
After the first artificial ice machines appeared, engineers across the world began improving the design.
They refined compressors, redesigned coils, and searched for better refrigerants. One chemical stood out: thilt ammonia.
When compressed into liquid form, ammonia stored enormous cooling potential. And when allowed to evaporate, it absorbed heat rapidly from its surroundings.
Breweries were among the first industries to adopt mechanical refrigeration. Soon, meatpacking plants followed.
Beer required precise temperatures. Natural ice simply wasn't reliable.
Refrigerated railcars carried fresh meat across entire continents.
Cities were no longer limited to local farms.
For the first time, food could travel long distances without spoiling. But early systems were massive, expensive, and often dangerous.
Some refrigerants were toxic. A leak could be deadly.
Accidents made headlines, raising concerns about safety.
Scientists knew refrigeration needed a safer solution.
In 1928, a breakthrough changed everything. A new refrigerant called Freon was introduced.
It was non-flammable, non-toxic, and far more stable.
For the first time, refrigerators became safe for the home.
Kitchens would never be the same again.
Over the decades, designs improved, became smaller, quieter, and more efficient.
What began as an industrial experiment had become an essential part of everyday life.
To understand refrigeration, we must understand one simple truth.
Heat always moves from warm places to cooler ones.
Heat is simply fast-moving molecules.
And cold means those molecules are moving more slowly.
A refrigerator's job is not to create cold.
It removes heat from inside and pushes it outside.
It begins with the compressor. The compressor squeezes refrigerant gas, increasing its pressure.
As pressure rises, temperature rises. That heat is released into the room. As it cools, the gas becomes liquid.
Then, it passes through a tiny expansion valve. Pressure drops instantly, and the liquid evaporates.
And as it evaporates, it absorbs heat.
Heat from your food is drawn into the coils. The temperature inside drops.
The refrigerant returns to the compressor. And the cycle begins again.
That is why the back of your fridge feels warm.
The heat has simply been moved.
Compress. Condense. Expand. Evaporate.
A quiet dance of physics, happening every second. And just like that, cold became controllable.
What began as a risky experiment evolved into a household essential.
It changed the way families shopped, cooked, and stored food.
It built supermarkets.
It powered global food distribution.
It made modern medicine possible.
All because humanity learned one powerful lesson.
Cold is not created.
It is moved. A silent machine, protecting your food every second.
Compress, condense, expand, evaporate. From ancient ice caves to smart kitchens, refrigeration reshaped civilization.
And it all started with one simple idea. What if cold didn't have to come from winter?
If you enjoyed this deep dive into everyday technology, subscribe for more factory and invention documentaries.